Oh, I'm very excited because I've just spotted our next guest today. She played one of her best-loved characters of all time, alcoholic matriarch Sue Ellen, whose shoulder pads were as big as her drinks. Please give a very, very warm welcome to Linda Gray. You were standing there and she said to me, you know what, Kay, you've never looked that good.
Oh, I think you do.
And she is right.
I think you all look fantastic. I've been watching you.
You look
amazing.
I don't like it.
You'll have what you're having. That's a good
Incredible.
thing.
Is it true you walk every morning?
I do. I didn't this morning.
Oh,
and I didn't yesterday morning.
Didn't cycle, did you?
No, I didn't cycle. You talked about that.
One of the cyclists that was getting on my nerves.
God, that would be good, wouldn't it? If you'd have been shaking your fist at
Well, I
Linda
was
Gray.
talking to them back there about, my son is a cyclist, you know, the spandex guys.
Oh, yeah.
And I told him, I said, you know, they have these rental bikes here in London. And I'm thinking about, he said, Mom, don't even think about it. He had this vision that I was going to rent a bicycle and go in and out of this traffic here. I thought, no.
Terrifying. Now, we played the Dallas music because we just had to. I mean, it's one of the major kind of television events of, I don't know, the last 30 or 40 years, isn't it? I mean, so do you have good memories when you hear that music, or, oh, enough already?
No, actually, no. You would think I would just be finished with it.
Yeah.
But I get excited. I can't sit still when I hear the music.
Yeah.
It's da, da, you know, you have to move to it. And it's one of the characters. Oh,
It was such event television, wasn't it? It was the days when you had to be sitting on the sofa to see it.
Oh, it's a whole family, though.
Everybody.
I just remember my whole family.
Yeah.
You know, Dallas is on it.
I know.
We lived for it.
I remember
Thank
it
you.
so clearly. I was studying for my exams, and I would go down to the local library to study, and I'd be sitting there, and my mum would come and knock on the window of the library and go, Dallas is on, come home.
How did the cast get
how
on?
did the school do? You
Yeah.
did okay?
That was all right, I'm here.
Linda, how did the cast get on? Because I met Larry Hagman a few times, and he told me that when you were all getting your contracts renewed, you were quite competitive to get on camera.
Well, Larry's always like that. Larry's always about money, you know. And he would always tell Patrick and I something that he got X amount of dollars for whatever. And then Patrick and I would call each other going, he didn't. So he would always have to be the highest paid and, you know,
He was a teaser, though.
Yeah.
He was a big tease. Yeah, he was
Can we
very
just
big
remind
tease.
ourselves of that, particularly that fabulous relationship that you had with, well, JR, as he was. Let's have a look.
He was magic. He really was. And the charisma, there was just such great chemistry because Sue Ellen was never supposed to be, you know, very prominent at all. They didn't really want her around. And all of a sudden there was this chemistry that happened. And
Let's have a look at the chemistry. We've got a clip.
oh, chemistry.
And I didn't like our charade. Pretending that we could be happy together.
We can be, Donna, honestly.
Never. I'm moving into Jamie's old room. I'm going to stay here to protect my son. But don't you ever come near me. You do what you want when you want. But don't you ever explain anything to me again. Because I don't care anymore.
I mean, you had that fractious relationship on screen with JR, but of course, off screen, you and Larry Hagman were great pals. I mean, how did you move from one to the other?
I think that's what made it so magical. I really do. I think if you're very, very dramatic off camera and you're very, very dramatic on camera, there isn't that spark. It's sort of, there's a sameness. With us, it was total opposite. And that's what I think, that's the ingredient that I think made the magic.
I remember years ago, I got hold of a Dallas outtakes
dear.
video, which I think you'd all
dear.
done for. It was so funny. It was you in a coma, you know, as you so often were.
In a coma.
Lying there with
I
all
find
the
that hard to
wires
believe.
and this, that, and the other. And then Larry Hagman started he was supposed to do a really kind of moving scene, and he just started singing a really filthy song. And you started to laugh and sat up and all the wires. I just thought, I so want to be backstage at that show.
Oh yeah, it was just hysterical, and they had all set it up for me, you know, IVs and things, tubes and things in my nose, and then they sang this very bad song, and I thought, what song? I didn't know there was a song. And I was lying there in the hospital.
Linda, you can sing it to us in the commercial break. Still to come from the fabulous Linda Gray, lots more. Plus, our own Colleen here gets into the Dallas spirit. We've got a wee surprise for you too. We'll see you after this. Spontaneous. Welcome back. All right, thank you.
Where's Gareth Malone when you need him?
I know. Welcome back. You might have guessed that our audience are absolutely delighted to see Linda Gray with us as we are, and online we've got some fabulous comments too, haven't
I've
we?
got a great one here from Sue. She says, I just love Linda Gray. I've watched Dallas
bless you.
since the very first episode way back, and I'm still engrossed in it now.
Bless her. Thank you, Sue. Whatever was that?
Sue.
We were talking before the break about you and Larry Hagman in particular and your great friendship. You were with him when he died, weren't you?
Yes. Not the moment, but 2 days before. Yeah, it was 2 years ago yesterday. 2 years ago yesterday.
So you must still miss him. a
Oh,
great
of
deal.
course.
Yeah.
But he's such a bigger-than-life character that he will always be around. He's probably here now in a white Stetson, wondering why the camera's not on him.
Did it make it difficult to go back into Dallas? Because, of course, it's had this reprise, but...
Well, what happened is Mr. Hagman passed in episode 6 of year 2. So we had still, 7 more shows
Right.
to do without him, but all the scripts had been written with him. So applause to the writers. The writers came in and...
Linda,
Yeah,
I like the
thanks.
fact that in the original Dallas, you were an alcoholic, which was a very brave thing to put in a central character in a sober, really brave. So you gradually slid down the dumper, and then when the show came back, you were in control. You were powerful.
Of course. Of course. That was 20 years in between. And I said, I was very, very vocal. I said, Sue Ellen must have changed in 20 years, as we all. If I asked you, have you changed in 20 years? What the answer would be?
Yes.
Older.
I hope so.
Except facially and all of that, you haven't changed. You look fabulous.
How did the show change behind the scenes? Because you've said before that in the first incarnation of Dallas, it was very male-dominated production team, and when you kind of wanted to get more involved in directing and whatever, you weren't allowed. Did it kind of modernise?
Well, yeah, but the Dallas was a very male show anyway. The characters were very focused on the men, behind the scenes, all men. And so year 8, I asked if I could direct. I'd been studying directing, so I asked if I could direct, and that was all I wanted, and they said no. And they fired me after year 8. They said, if that's all you want, then you're done.
And yet Larry and Patrick had both been allowed to direct.
Correct.
So how did you feel about that?
Well, it wasn't about that. It was about what I wanted to do. It wasn't about, they got to do it and I didn't, like a little child.
No, but it's unfair, isn't it? And
So,
it's sexist.
sexist, yes. So I said, okay. So anyway, what happened was I finally was allowed to direct. And I got to do one in a 2-year configuration, 2 years.
Yeah.
And so then they said, all right, we'll give you 1, but you have to give us 1 year to complement
balance
what you
back, yeah.
balance. So anyway, it was a little tricky negotiations, but I got to do it, and they liked it so much that I was able to do much more. So it was kind of that glass ceiling thing that you have to
managed to break. I wonder if you'd have been so keen to direct if you'd had this kind of character with you, though. Can we just have a quick look?
A very special surprise guest joining the panel. Please welcome, fresh from the minibar, it's our very own Sue Ellen.
I'll keep her on that.
leads us very, very neatly to your next project, which is Panto.
Perfect. You could take my place.
You are actually here to play Fairy Godmother in Cinderella at the New Wimbledon Theatre.
I am the fairy godmother.
Yeah.
I want to tell you right now, I am the fairy godmother. Where am I?
How are you feeling about that? Because there's no great Panto tradition in America, is there? I mean,
we didn't know what it was. And my publicist in Los Angeles is from here, from London.
Right.
And he went crazy. He said, oh, this is fantastic. And, we don't have anything like it in America. And on and on and on. And I said, well, what role? He said, the fairy godmother. I could see myself there. I thought, Sue Ellen and the fairy godmother, that's a match made in heaven. I loved it. And I have a big costume and beautiful costume and wings. I have fairy wings and a magic wand. I am so excited. You must all come.
You're going to have a
It's
fantastic.
fantastic. I am so happy.
Can you tell us in 30 seconds how you look that good?
I got a facelift this morning. I got my ears pierced. Everything. I heal very fast.
And you cycle absolutely everywhere. Linda, it's been such a pleasure to have you here. Really,
Oh,
you
I
are the
want to come
perfect
back. You're
fairy god-
beautiful. I love seeing you all, especially you, darling.
Linda Gray, everyone. I can feel the heat of Colleen here. That is it for today. Join us on tomorrow's show at 12:30 when X Factor's Andrea Faustini will be here. Have a great afternoon. We'll see you tomorrow.